Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe for more interesting stories. Once upon a time, in a small village called Moji, there lived a brave boy named Kofi and his curious sister, Amina. Moji was surrounded by a vast, magical forest that glowed under the moonlight. The villagers believed that the forest was home to many spirits and mysterious creatures. One warm evening, as the moon cast long shadows over the village, Kofi and Amina sat by the fire listening to their grandmother, Mama Juma, tell stories. Long ago, Mama Juma began, there was a mighty lion named Jabari. He ruled the forest and protected our village from harm. But one day, Jabari disappeared, and strange things started happening. Kofi's eyes widened. What kind of strange things, Mama Juma? Well, Mama Juma continued, the animals started acting strangely, and crops stopped growing. The elders said it was because the spirits were angry. Amina shivered. What happened next? Some brave villagers went into the forest to find Jabari and bring him back, but none of them ever returned, Mama Juma said softly. It is said that only the pure of heart can enter the forest and come back safely. Kofi and Amina looked at each other. They both knew what they had to do. That night, while everyone was asleep, they packed a small bag with food and water and set off into the forest. The forest was dark and silent, except for the sound of their footsteps and the occasional rustle of leaves. The moonlight filtered through the trees, creating eerie shadows that danced around them. As they walked deeper into the forest, they heard a soft whisper. Who goes there? Kofi and Amina froze. In front of them stood a tall, glowing figure with kind eyes. It was the spirit of the forest, Nia. We are Kofi and Amina, Kofi said bravely. We come from Moji to find Jabari the lion and save our village. Nia nodded. You have pure hearts. I will help you, but the journey will not be easy. You must solve 3 riddles to find Jabari. Kofi and Amina agreed and followed Nia deeper into the forest. They soon reached a clearing where a large rock stood. Nia pointed to the rock and said, Here is your first riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Kofi and Amina thought hard. After a moment, Amina's face lit up. It's an echo. Nia smiled. Correct. Now, follow me to the next riddle. They walked until they reached a river. Nia pointed to the flowing water and said, Here is your second riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, and I need water to live. What am I? Kofi and Amina looked at the river, thinking deeply. Suddenly, Kofi exclaimed, It's a fire. Nia nodded. Well done. One more riddle remains. They continued their journey until they arrived at a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers. Nia turned to them and said, Here is your final riddle. I am taken from a mine, and shut up in a wooden case, from which I am never released, and yet I am used by almost every person. What am I? Kofi and Amina exchanged puzzled looks. This riddle seemed much harder than the first 2. They wandered around the garden, thinking about the answer. Suddenly, Amina noticed something shiny on the ground. She picked it up and realized it was a pencil. It's a pencil, she shouted. Nia beamed. You have solved all the riddles. Now, I will take you to Jabari. They followed Nia to a hidden cave. Inside, they found Jabari, lying weak and exhausted. Kofi and Amina quickly gave him food and water. Jabari slowly regained his strength and thanked the children. Thank you for saving me, Jabari said. Now, let's return to Moji and restore peace to your village. With Jabari by their side, Kofi and Amina made their way back to Moji. But as they approached the village, they heard strange noises coming from the forest. It seemed their adventure was far from over. As they neared the village, Kofi and Amina could hear the distant sound of drums and chanting. The villagers were gathered in the central clearing, performing a ritual to calm the spirits. When the villagers saw Kofi, Amina, and Jabari, their faces lit up with hope. "Look, it's Jabari." They found Jabari, a villager shouted. Chief Nia, the village leader, stepped forward. "Kofi, Amina, you have done what no one else could. You have brought back our protector." Jabari roared loudly, a sound that echoed through the forest and seemed to calm the restless spirits. The villagers cheered, and for the first time in months, there was a sense of peace, but suddenly, the ground began to shake. The villagers gasped as a large, shadowy figure emerged from the forest. It was Jabari, the spirit of chaos who had been causing trouble in the village since Jabari disappeared. "Why have you returned, Jabari?" Jabari snarled. "This forest belongs to me now." Kofi and Amina stood tall, holding Jabari's mane for support. "You will not harm our village any longer, Jabari," Kofi declared. Jabari laughed, a deep, rumbling sound. "And how do you plan to stop me, little ones?" Jabari stepped forward, his eyes glowing with determination. "With the help of these brave children, we will restore balance to the forest." Nia, the forest spirit, appeared beside them. "Jabari, your reign of chaos ends now. The villagers have shown great courage and pure hearts. It is time for peace to return." Jabari growled but knew he was outnumbered. With one final glare, he vanished into the shadows, his power broken by the unity and bravery of the villagers and the spirits. The villagers celebrated their victory, and the forest seemed to come alive with joy. Flowers bloomed, animals emerged from hiding, and the crops began to grow once more. Chief Nia addressed the village. "Today, we have learned that courage and unity can overcome any challenge. Let us remember this day and honor Kofi, Amina, and Jabari for their bravery." Kofi and Amina felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. They had not only saved their village but also made new friends and allies in the forest. However, they knew that there were still many mysteries and adventures waiting to be discovered in the moonlit shadows of the African wilderness, and so, Kofi, Amina, and Jabari continued to explore the magical forest, always ready for the next adventure that awaited them. They knew that as long as they had each other, they could face any challenge and bring peace to their beloved village of Moji.